This is such a loose adaptation of Jonathan Swift's seminal 1726 prose satire, travels into several remote nations of the world in 4 parts by Lemuel Gulliver, first a surgeon and then a captain of several ships, usually shortened to simply Gulliver's Travels for obvious reasons, that the author isn't mentioned during the credits, despite the titles mentioning that the film is not an original piece, which is a good thing, as this film is yet more evidence for Daniel's Rules of Cinema number 6. Nothing ruins beloved British properties faster than getting the Americans involved. For further examples, please see Life on Mars, 40 Towers, Alfie, Red Dwarf. I could go on. So, I wasn't looking forward to this going in. In fact, had it not been a request, I wouldn't have gone anywhere near the thing. But
your wish is my command.
Since this review was requested by the same probably energy drink addicted millennial dunker who wanted me to review the Mrs. Brown Boys movie, I assumed they didn't want me to review the animated 1939 version that caused Walt Disney to push Pinocchio back by 2 months to avoid competing with it. Anyway, plot-wise, there's not really much to write home about. Actually, there's nothing to write home about here in any way, shape or form, because the film itself is a mere 75 minutes long before the credits start. 85 minutes after credits, but don't even try that stunt with me. And it takes 15 minutes before Gulliver actually gets stranded on the island. Sorry, I should probably explain the plot, shouldn't I? Well, IMDb says that travel writer Lemuel Gulliver takes an assignment in Bermuda but ends up on the island of Lilliput where he towers over its tiny citizens, which isn't a plot synopsis as far as I'm concerned, but then again, this film doesn't really have a plot, or any funny moments, or anyone actually trying, or any situations being able to develop naturally as opposed to being a series of 1 to 3 minute comedy sketches with the same basic themes, as well as truly horrifying levels of product placement. And, well, I would say plot holes, but like I say, there's no real plot. Gulliver doesn't seem to be in any real urgency to get home. The people of Lilliput appear to be in a war with their neighbours, the Blefutians. Don't look at me like that, I didn't name these people. At least the Struddlebrugs and the Huyans don't get a look in. But why are they in a war? What are its aims? I mean, I guess that the film's main villain, played by a horrifically miscast Chris O'Dowd in a role screaming out for an Alan Rickman Sheriff of Nottingham type of performance.
That's it then. Cancel the kitchen scraps for lepers and orphans. No more merciful beheadings. And call off Christmas.
Has a sort of arc. He doesn't trust Black from the off, preferring tradition over the modern ideas / stories that Black brings with him, but instead of setting up a culture clash, we just spend the back third of the film watching Gulliver's Rim or Pacific Travels, which isn't funny. On the subject of not being funny, I feel like there was something else that's a symbol of a film doomed to being unwatchably unfunny, something prevalent in modern film. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't important. And a lot of this film's issues could have been solved by adding 10 minutes to the film's runtime, allowing teams to breathe, develop, get momentum, and possibly allow a chuckle. Oh, and I quickly have to state that one of the first big scenes, which almost made me spit out my gin, no tonic, was apparently actually part of the source material, which was interesting to discover during my research. It involves a fire and Black suddenly needing to discover a large amount of water to put it out. Use your imagination. Another trick that the film missed is that there's no real conflict between Gulliver and the people of Lilliput, as he suddenly puts an inevitable, incredible strain on their limited resources, or as he adapts to being a normal-sized human in a land of people that seem to be a few inches high at best. The Lilliputians, I think, are said to be incredible builders, and in literally a week are building Gulliver his size housing, entertainment, and even a coffee pot. Again, not a peep about the amount of resources needed to do this. Look, the special effects are pretty solid, even almost 10 years later, and there were some good moments of height humour, a few moments did have comedic potential, but this film was in such a rush to get itself over and done with that nothing is allowed to develop. The film has very little connective tissue, and even when there's an interesting idea or threat or point being made, it's over before you have a chance to blink. Oh, and the ending is padded as well. It ends on a massive song and dance number, which came out of absolutely nowhere and had nothing to do with what few themes this film had. And then there's another 2 to 3 minute scene which could have been cut completely, as the audience would have checked out by then. Look, Gulliver's Travels is not the worst film I've ever seen. That doesn't mean it's any good. It's awful in so many ways, most of which can be traced back to the film's utterly pathetic runtime, which in itself screams a massive hatchet job was done on this film in the editing suite. There's no real plot to speak of, none of the jokes work, none of the characters develop, and there's no real connective tissue between them. Yeah, I think I'm done with this one. It came, it went, and everyone involved seems to have gone on to bigger and better things. Am I done? Yeah, I'll see you next, guys. So this is an absolute bomb. Do not see this film under any circumstances, but what do you guys think? And what piece of classic literature adapted to screen has been mishandled the worst in your opinion? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel, it's been a donkey. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe.